Top 10,
15.
All right, it's live now. We're live now. Halftime, and you're witnessing JJ and I going through player props because we don't know what the hell to do with this game. Like, what the fuck is going on? We made it to 6 points. We made it to 6.
I mean, we continually watch the live under drop like a rock throughout the course of the first half, and we're standing there with our jaws wide open, not taking advantage of the situation. So, now we're looking at what live under of 29.5, so 23.5, given the 6 points that's already on the board.
Yeah, 29.5, and we were looking at it before going live here, and there were some 30 and a halves at bookmaker that were going 31. On and off.
There was a 31. Yeah.
A 31 because I guess they thought that the Ravens were going to score a touchdown, but they didn't score a touchdown. No touchdowns in this game. And we were looking at also Josh Allen live over under pass yards was 295.5 for a little bit before halftime. It dropped to 280.5. That's kind of wild.
Yeah, if you have bookmaker, you can get a second half under of 24 for it's minus 119, but the juice has been moving around some.
Yeah. This is quite the interesting game here. I did not see 3-3 happening. I expected a little bit more than 3-3. If you had the first half under, congrats. I mean, good job.
Well, this is a quintessential wind game. This is like when the Raiders came to Cleveland in the middle of the season and it was really windy and it was just really ugly. This is exactly what you're looking at your forecast for. We talked about it.
Yep.
Leading into our pod and the midweek previews and all that, but never really sealed the deal as far as confirming the gusty winds, and it's definitely played a big factor.
We expected a little bit of snow. We didn't know about the wind. We saw wind, and then all of a sudden tonight during the halftime earlier, we were like, oh, winds are blowing around 16 miles an hour. I guess it's gusting more. I mean, know that some of these air-mailed passes and some of these missed field goals are caused by the wind. Like, it's not all, lack of skill right now. I mean, there's some sloppiness going on. Josh Allen does look sloppy. Lamar looks a little bit sloppy also, but it's not all, them being terrible. That being said, if you have an under on this game, great. Over under now for the game, 29.5. So we're at 6 right now, 23.5 for the second half. I mean, the common sense play is under. Is that too easy of a play going under second half, or do things open up a bit? Do they kind of, scheme a little bit at halftime and say, okay, the way to do this is run the ball a little bit more? Like through the first 15, 18 minutes of the game, the Bills didn't have a run play. And like, I know the run game sucks, but come on.
Right. Well, especially in this weather where you need to lean on a little more of a run first type of situation, but that they're just not built that way. And without Moss in there, that they really have even less options running the ball. But I'm looking to see. I don't see as if the wind is going to die out any. So I mean, this is going to continue through into tomorrow morning. So we got gusts in the mid 20 mile an hour. So as far as the conditions, they're not really changing.
I'm pretty sure that they could play this game until tomorrow morning and they wouldn't hit the original over under. Like they wouldn't hit the original 50.5, 49.5. Like that just wouldn't happen.
They're out there at 7 a.m. trying to break the tie.
Just still trying to make field goals. just still trying to kick, 41 yarders. Over under Buffalo 15.5, Baltimore 13.5. I know that we don't have Yanni here. My feel, and I told you my feel right before that we went on here, my feel is that the Ravens take this game. They have more going on for them. It should be 9-3 right now. And I know that, Bills fans don't want to hear it. And that might not be the official halftime play. But I'm thinking the way I see this game going, Lamar just keeps running the ball. They pound it down their throats. They have 200 total yards in the first half. That's not bad. It's 185 yards per play. It's not terrible. Not terrible. 0 turnovers. No. My feel is that the Ravens pull this out, especially with how bad Josh Allen looks. Your thoughts on that? I don't want to go against the Buffalo Bills. I don't want to go against the Buffalo Bills.
I can't.
But I'm just getting this feeling, JJ.
I'm a little more feeling the under, but at the same time, I understand you're getting plus money with the Ravens just to win the second half. So We're obviously thinking if Ravens are going to win the game, you're at plus 122. I mean, that's where we were at kickoff, basically.
Right. Right.
We're back to about what the expectation was by the odds makers.
What's the Josh Allen line on DraftKings? Because I do like that one. Because I still would want to bet that. Like, if I'm not going to put up Ravens right here, because I can't put up Ravens because
it's 280 and a half.
And 280 and a half. He goes under,
right? Minus 112 to the under. Yes. It's juice to the over.
He looks bad. He doesn't look good.
I know. But
that might be the play right here.
It's not like Jared Goff bad, even though he had a really good first drive or whatever today. He had a few good drives, but it's not like Jared Goff, like we're totally screwed type of bad. I think, some of it's just a little bit of timing or whatever. Not sure he regains it. Not saying he regains it, but I don't think it's quite as big of a turnaround as, some other quarterbacks that are really unreliable. At the same time, I mean, this is a tough playoff game, and they're playing a tough defense that this could continue to persist as far as the trouble that the Baltimore defense is giving him in a completely pass-oriented attack. They're one-dimensional. That's really not what you want to be, especially against a good defense.
That's really not what you want to be. So it was 280 and a half, you said, for Josh Allen?
Yeah.
Josh Allen under 280 and a half. Search for that. So we'll put that up. Josh Allen under 280 and a half pass yards. That is, obviously it's not rush yards, anything else. And my lean right now is Ravens, but this is honestly, like we've done a lot of halftimes, and I've done a lot of halftimes throughout the season. This is one of the hardest. Like, it's just because it's not what we expected in this game. It's not how we thought this game would go. It's just, I don't know. It's ugly. Like, whoever wins this game might not feel that good about winning this game, and whoever wins this game is going to be a big-time underdog against, you would assume, Kansas City wins. But
I guess, and they were, I mean, I don't know. We talked about this a little bit in the previews. Was, you asked the question, does anybody else feel like this Cleveland game, could be a little, could be a little closer than what any of us really are looking for, especially because we did, go with the teaser leg. So they still got to go -4, -3.5, which is not the most ideal teaser, but it was also a little bit of I guess you could call it a knee-jerk reaction to pair the Packers with first thing. Of course, you can get a much better number now, but I don't know. I mean, conventional wisdom is going to tell you they had that extra week of rest, which is pretty essential. And the whole Andy Reid coming off a bye situation. We even talked about the Browns perhaps being in a little bit of a letdown spot, getting that huge emotional win in Pittsburgh in the playoffs. But I don't know. I can't really say that I'm that type of handicapper that can really assess whether that means a whole lot, but it seems like it would. But as far as the numbers go, this is definitely a Kansas City type of game.
Definitely a Kansas City type of game. We'll see what happens with that. I mean, in this game, I put at the bottom lean Ravens money line because I have to put that out there because I just think that it's setting up well for the Ravens. I want the Bills to win, obviously, for Yanni's sake. I definitely want the Bills to win. But just kind of one of those games, it's like, Jesus Christ, like what the hell is going on? Coach here chiming in, Lamar over 52.5 rush yards. I guess you can get that live somewhere. If you're looking for that live, go for it. I mean, he's going to be running. Yeah. So where is that? It's probably FanDuel, likely FanDuel. Put me in, coach. FanDuel. He says FanDuel. And we've got our Carson Wentz lover here. I can't believe I'm going to say this, but Carson Wentz has had better first halves than these quarterbacks. Can you imagine Carson Wentz throwing in this wind, though? That would be worse there, F. Pope, just count your blessings there, because if Carson Wentz was thrown to this, some of those balls would end up in the lake. Some of those balls would end up in fucking Toronto.
Lake Erie.
Just end up in Lake Erie or
river
in Toronto. Yeah, so we'll do that. My lean is Ravens. I know that we don't want that, but Josh Allen. And take a look at Lamar and those rush yards. Should we go on to tomorrow and we'll pull up some more comments there? Expected way more yards from Lamar in the first half, and he's only got 12. I agree. I agree
know.
From David
Stinks.
SM. I don't know if you know David SM. I don't know if I know who he is, but yeah, I agree with David SM with more numbers than God. Bills should be up by 21. Sure. Bills could be up by 21, but guess what? The over-under is probably set at 21. The over-under should be set at 21 right now. So anyways, I'll put this back up. Josh Allen under 280.5 pass yards for those books that have player props. So tomorrow,
what are we doing tomorrow here? I'm the sucker with the under in the KC game, getting one less point. So again, my
57
low CLV game.
57's a lot of points. You have under 55.5, 56.5. You know that 57 is going to end up being 58.5. Money's going to come in on like whoever wins tonight. Like if there's Ravens money, if Ravens money line backers got it early at like plus 140 or even right now, like plus 115, 120, they'll take and put it on the over tomorrow. Cause they're like, you know what? I don't want to bet on the Chiefs to cover 10. That's a lot of points. Recreational money is probably going to go on the 10. Although I saw a 9.5 earlier on my grid right now, SBR. FanDuel's not up there, but look for lines. And then 57.
Hey, I
covered
see
that.
There's wind tomorrow, though, right around in that. Well, it should die out a little bit, but there's still going to be some gusts. I don't know. I'm just trying to talk myself into feeling better about this.
Honestly, any wind would be huge for the under. Like 57.
Yeah, clearly
57 would come down. Like 57 would come down to 54. Like if there's meaningful wind in the morning, that'll get bet down big time. So take a look at that. We covered that last halftime stream. I mean, the Chiefs win this game. I don't see many paths for the Browns to win this game unless whatever's been happening with the Chiefs, just they come out flat. They come out not knowing what's going on, and they keep turning the ball over. I think with 2 weeks of rest, which is 3 weeks of rest now. It's 3 weeks of rest. They take care of business. They put up their 31. They put up their 35 spot. Call it 35-21. 35-24 wouldn't hit your under, but something like that. I think they move on.
That's the big differentiating factor is that extra week of rest, the home field advantage, and the preparation. And we know that there's a coach there, not only Andy Reid, but Bieniemy as far as the execution and the calling. But they have a lot of those advantages, and they have the staff to take advantage of those advantages even further. So, I mean, I think that's got to count for something anyways. But yeah, what's up? The old guy battle tomorrow.
Yeah, we didn't cover that at last stream. We'll cover it tomorrow, I'm sure, at halftime also. But my thoughts right now are I like your Tampa Bay plus 3.5. I think the Saints win this game, though. I think the Saints win this game. I think that 3.5 is great value. I think the Saints take care of this. I think the Saints have a better defense. Like, I think that the more that I've thought about it, the worst defensive player on the Bucs is a lot worse than the worst defensive player on the Saints. And I think that the Saints have better coaching. I think the Saints as a unit have had a bit more experience. I know that Tom Brady's Tom Brady, sure, and Gronk is Gronk. They have plenty of experience. But I think that you add all these parts up, plus Saints home field. I don't know if there's going to be any fans. It doesn't matter to that much extent, but they have that fast track. I think it adds up to the Saints, and I would even lay the 3 at this point. 27-23. Yanni put out his prediction article. I think it had a 4-point margin. I think I agree with that right now. 31-27 seems high. 27-23, 27-24. You don't like that because of your plus 3.5. You made the right bet though. You 100% made the right bet with plus 3.5. But it's very telling that it hasn't budged since then.
No, it hasn't. And the other thing that hasn't really budged is his total. I've seen a little bit of fluctuation at DraftKings type books, the Canby books, that kind of wavered between 51.5 and 52. But as far as Bookmaker and Bovada have been very steady at 52 throughout the week. And as a matter of fact, Bovada's minus 105 to the under. Breeze does have a noodle arm, and they
100% has a noodle arm.
Why you take the under?
Yeah, no, I agree. You take under in this game. If you can get yourself a 52, take it, because I think it just sets up for a 27-24 game. it sets up for 27-24, and it might be even less. Breeze has that noodle arm, but the Saints have a pretty decent defense. The only way that this goes over, I think, is, and as I'm thinking about it, I might be talking myself out of it, but the Bucs secondary is probably the worst unit on the field, I think. But can Breeze get the ball downfield? I mean, Taysom Hill or Jameis Winston could get the ball downfield, but I don't think Drew Brees can. So,
well, I don't know. I think we need Coach to weigh in on that. So,
Coach can show up for a halftime stream or two tomorrow. So perhaps we'll have Coach come on at halftime of the first game tomorrow. Chiefs and Browns is the first game, right? And we'll pick his brain for that, Saints and Bucs, and just say, hey, what are you feeling on this? Earlier in the week, I was like, you know what? Bucs money line, and I think Coach is still watching. Perhaps fair statement on Bucs TV unit.
There we go. Thank you,
Coach.
Coach.
Still here, yeah, Coach. Thank you, but no, I think it's one of those things that it's like, what's the worst unit on the field? And I think it's that Bucs secondary. I like Peyton a little bit more, even though Peyton has had his moments where it's like, what are you doing right now? Just be aggressive and go for it. Like that's why they lost that NFC Championship game 2 years ago.
Well, and I think the whole Taysom Hill rotation and having a little, hesitation with the limitations on Breeze's arm perhaps makes you second guess yourself. Not sure. I don't know.
Yeah, but they don't want to get too carried away with Taysom Hill because he turned the ball over last week. It didn't matter because they were playing the Bears, who are basically a 3-13 team in the playoffs. But if the Saints put together, so let's put it this way: if the Saints put together the first half tomorrow that they put together last week, they're in trouble because that first half was ugly. It was 7-3 in the first half. Like that was ugly as shit.
Yep.
TB12 playoffs. Loves the cold. Loves being doubted. Hate to break it to F Pope, but they're playing in a dome tomorrow, so there's no cold. There's no cold in New Orleans.
He still owns the noodle arms.
He does own the noodle arms. Perhaps they'll just blast the air conditioning there in the Superdome.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my is right. I'm gonna sit back, relax, have some more wine.
I know. I just
live second half.
I just live bet an under this game.
Tell you what, so I tried to live bet an under. Like I tried to live bet an under earlier. It was 38.5. I tried to live bet it. It cleared out and changed to 33.5. I was like, what the fuck is that? It just went by 5.
You want that,
by 5? It was okay. I don't want it anymore, but honestly, I do want 33.5 right now. Oh boy.
All right, man. Enjoy the game. Have a good night, and I will we'll talk to you tomorrow.
All right, JJ. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Let's get these second half bets. The lean at the bottom, I'm hoping that loses because I want Yanni's Bills to win. Let's go Bills Mafia.
All right.
All right.
Yep.
All right,
Later.
JJ. We'll talk.